listen to me, you whining little whelp.
From the Gettysburg Tour Studio.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman.
All the DJs say this one's on its way. Number one.
You think I have something done with science? Shut up!
You're listening to From Studio 1A.
The popular podcast addressing Gettysburg.
Yes, sir.
Grabbed the cold and hurt my neck.
Addressing Gettysburg today.
There's no time. Hello, exactly.
Good evening, Ronnie. Good evening, all of you out there in this freezing cold tundra that we call the Northern Hemisphere. Hello.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
I'm fine. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
It is, I did miss doing this.
Yeah, it's been a little while. New platform, very exciting.
I know. And over on YouTube, I don't know how that'll go. We'll see. It's very easy to get set up on Facebook. All you have to do is sign in, maybe press a button or two, and then hit go live every time, and it goes live. YouTube, it's like you got to go to your YouTube account. You got to say go live. Then you got to get this key, and then don't share that key because that's to your account. And then you go over back into OBS, which is what we actually switch the cameras through. That's the program for that. And then you got to add that, and then you got to do that. And it's just too many steps for my ADD rattled mind. So we spent the better part of an hour and a half trying to figure that out. And then I gave Colby a crash course on how to do Eric's job while Eric's away. Eric's away up at St. Mary's. I think he's going to get snowed in up there, too.
Yeah. For a big storm.
Yeah.
It's kind of exciting. It's a holiday weekend, so I
What's the holiday?
Martin Luther King Jr.
I thought that was in February.
It's January, sir.
What's in February?
President's Day.
Of course.
I used to work for the government. I know all my federal holidays.
Well, that's good. So we have a 4-day weekend, which means nothing to me. I don't even know what a weekend is. I've not had it because my weekends, even in the off season, I go to lectures and I record them.
Yeah.
Every Saturday. Fine so far, although I've got some audio. Someone had pointed out to me, and I caught this during the recording of Tim's last lecture on Sunday. We're sitting there at the table, and, we sit right up front next to where Tim is.
Yeah.
And I have the recorder in the place of one seat at our table, right? It's kind of protected by the support beam
pillar,
there, the pillar, post, whatever. And the way the recorder is like you've got the recorder, which is like but here, actually, open that up there. Let me show you this stuff here. Just hand me that. I'll do it. Thank you. All right, so you got this recorder, okay? Let me show the camera here. Okay, no, it's okay. It's all right, Colby. Go to Matt. There you go. You got it. Colby's learning how to do the...
I was trying to get you open in the box.
Nah, that's all right. Yeah, oh, well, that's good. I like that. So you got this recorder, see? And up top here, you can put one of two heads. One of them looks like, your typical old microphone, right? The other one looks like some kind of taser. Okay? Looks like you could hurt somebody with this thing. But this is actually two microphones, and one is they're pointing like in an X-axis, right?
That's why we can't have nice things.
I know. Oh, thank God the recorder wasn't in the box. All right. So one points towards the left, one points towards the right. And so I'm sitting there, and Eric had allergies or something. Maybe just the dry air has been bugging his nose. So he's been going, right? The whole time.
I listened to it. I wasn't able to make last Sunday, and I did listen to it. I didn't catch that. Maybe I don't know.
I caught it while it was going on, right? While Tim is talking. No. I caught it. And I looked up at where the recorder is, and I realized that one microphone is pointing off to the left, and to the left, sitting in that bench that you and Kathy moved out of, right, is Eric. And he's sitting there, with his arm on the back of the bench, and he's looking towards him, and literally every 5 seconds.
Oh, poor.
Right? So it didn't occur to me until maybe halfway through the post-break part of the lecture, after we take our break, and I just started laughing because I go, I know somebody's going to hear this and not be able to finish it because of that sound. It's going to drive them nuts. And sure enough, I got an email from somebody saying, dude, there's someone sniffling the whole time. Now, look, I try my best, ladies and gentlemen, I really do, to make these quality recordings, okay? And there's only so much I can do when I don't have control over the environment. I'm literally spying on what's going on. I'm putting a recorder there, and what happens, happens.
In the middle of a dining room where dinners are being eaten,
Right.
Silverware's clanking, people are talking.
One guy's always talking loud.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's not... It's free.
It's
I'll be the one to
free.
say it's free,
Thank you.
guys. Like, take it easy. You know...
Relax. And then, and for those of you who've been wanting videos to the lectures, well, first of all, I'm not going to bother with the park services because they already do the videos, and it's just going to be redundancy, like having a video out there. Plus, not plus, but also we did it with Tim's. But again, the room is very hard for show business. Like, it doesn't, unless I had some cameras that I could like affixed to the ceiling somehow that kind of hang down and look over, like without otherwise I'd have to set up a tripod further back from where, like, I just had it sitting on the bar, but pulled out, the zoom lens pulled out all the way. It's still not, it's too close. And so the only other option is to get a tripod and go, you know, further back. But now the waitresses can't get through with so I'm trying to make this visual to those YouTube people who can't understand listening on YouTube. I listen to stuff on YouTube all the time. I don't watch things. I don't understand that. But anyway, I'm trying to do it. But like, honestly, it's not worth the what is it? The juice ain't worth the squeeze or something like that.
Okay.
You never heard that?
I don't think so.
Really? Oh, God, just dated myself.
Yeah.
In other words, you got to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and you just get a little bit of juice. Like when you get a dried lime in your club soda, and you squeeze and squeeze, and nothing comes out. I know. And then I say, "Can you get me another one? This one's dry." And they bring another dry one, and I go, "Can you at least check?" But I'm hard to please.
That's true.
How about you? What was your? I mean, there's a lot that we have to catch up on here.
So when did we record? Like, it was a week before Christmas.
I think the 17th was the last one.
Yeah, so it's been a little while. So Christmas
almost a
came
month.
and went, right? And then New Year's came and went, and it's already like mid-January, which is like really hard to believe for me. That it's going really fast.
I know, the year's almost over.
Yeah, right. Might as well start right in 2023.
Yeah. What did you do for Christmas?
What did we do for Christmas?
Did you go out to dinner? Or did you have it at home? TV dinners at home?
Wait a minute. What did we do? Oh, my God.
Veronica doesn't like to cook.
No, we don't cook. But we did, in fairness, I think I showed you a picture of,
you did.
We made a pork roast that's a traditional, pork and sauerkraut and everything. And it came out pretty darn good, I will say so myself, for New Year's. But what the heck did we, you know what? No, for Christmas... Was there something? Did you were going to go away and then you didn't go away? That was Thanksgiving.
That was Thanksgiving.
Yeah. What the heck did we do for Christmas? I forget.
Well, it must have been exciting.
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the exciting times.
I mean, when you're...
Let's say it again.
It's always the exciting times you forget.
Yeah.
So mundane.
It's true.
Like,
It's like every time I ask Colby about what it was like to be in combat in the Marine Corps, he goes, I forget.
I can never remember. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I know I made Kathy happy.
Hey,
I went to
Colby,
Mass.
what was Fallujah like? I don't remember. What? I'm sorry.
No, went to Mass. I do remember that. That's an unusual occurrence in my life, not for Mom, but went to Mass. Matter of fact, went to the Spanish Mass.
See.
Because Mom is actually, I give her all the credit in the world, she is seriously studying the Spanish language. And
is that true?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she does Duolingo every day. She does Rosetta Stone every day. She's been watching YouTubes about pronunciation. Yeah, she's taking it real seriously. And so just something
So
to
maybe
do,
tonight at dinner she could speak in Spanish.
We'll get her to do that.
All right, very good.
She's been practicing rolling her R's, so make sure you
do it. I can't wait to ask her to roll some R's.
Kathy, let me hear you say Rolando. Hola, me llamo Rolando. That was the only thing I could do in Spanish class was roll my R's. That was it. I couldn't remember words.
Yeah, I remember remember like I mean, I was thinking about this. You know, it's embarrassing how many semesters or whatever you want to call them, like credit hours I ended up taking over. Like 7th grade, we had to have a language. 8th grade, we took a language. All throughout high school, we had a language. So I just consistently took Spanish. Then even like, you know, undergrad at Duquesne, you had to have, I think, at least 2 semesters, maybe even 2 years of like the language. But I just took like intro because I was not applying myself very well. But one of the words I remember to this day is habichuelas, which, if I remember habichuelas means green beans. I have no idea why I remember that. I don't remember what I did 3 weeks ago, but from 25 years ago in 7th grade, I remember habichuelas.
Really?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
I feel like I would remember that just because of how the word actually.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's why. I think it's such a like.
A beached whale.
A beached whale. Right. It sounds
A beached whale is.
Yeah,
A beached whale is what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Right,
yeah,
the teacher gets up there and like, okay, class, habichuelas. And you're all like,
On the beach.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well,
Proud of
okay.
Kathy.
So that is pretty good. I actually tried, and when I say try, I tried for a week and then I gave up. Lakota. Sioux.
Yeah.
I tried to learn it. I love it. I love the way it sounds, and I want to be able to speak that way. I can't do it.
Is that Tatanka?
Yeah, Tatanka. Yeah. You know, because I wanted to, everybody does Spanish.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, because it's practical.
Well, yeah. When have I ever been about practical?
Well, yeah, there's that. That's Matt's own style.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, you guys go and speak Spanish. I'm going to speak Lakota. And then people are going to be like, what is that exotic language you're speaking? I'm like, oh, it's Lakota Sioux. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. But I found a course on YouTube, and I couldn't get through like the kindergarten level of
I would
Lakota.
imagine that would be pretty difficult.
Yeah, because they have different letters that are like, you know, these weird symbols that, you know, like in German, there's that one thing that looks like a B, but it really stands for like a double S or something.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
I think Strasse is one of the words. So it's S-T-R-A, weird looking B-E. But you would say it's Strasse, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Mike?
Absolutely correct.
Mike is fluent in German, and he would know this.
Well,
Are
not
you?
fluent in German?
Well.
I took 5 years of German.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. What is that thing called?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I only know
I call it
Little
the
Mouse.
Schwa-B. That's what I call it. Schwa-B. Okay. So holidays. So I went to Jersey for Christmas.
Yeah.
Ooh. Exotic locale.
Yes, very tropical. Although it was like 60 degrees. Did Christmas not feel like Christmas to
No,
you
it was
this year?
crazy. It was nuts. And actually, I do remember that. Like, I forget if it was actually Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but it was like we did walk around the park a little bit because it was just so ridiculously nice.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
gorgeous.
it was like 60 degrees.
But
Crazy.
beyond the temperature, though, I mean, did the whole season not feel like Christmas to you?
Yeah,
like
well,
it didn't
we've been
feel
really-
like I
mean,
was.
In reality, like even like cold weather, let alone snow-wise, we've really only had like one time so far this year that we've had like actual snow stay on the ground, like one snow, and there's still parts of it visible some places.
Because then it iced a couple days later, and then
Right.
it froze all the snow in.
Right,
Stupid
but
ice.
we were spoiled. I mean, it was a really mild, November,
It was
December,
great.
even early.
Yeah.
So
It was. You're right, and it didn't feel to me like it was winter and Christmas was coming, and but even in the spirit of like getting presents and stuff, like I would text my mom and my sister. I'm like, "What do you guys want for Christmas?" They're like, "Nothing." What do you want? And I go, "Nothing."
we do
And
that all the time.
and so I said, "Well,
we
let's just get presents for the kids."
Yeah.
Okay, everybody just spend your money on the kids, and we'll get each other cards or whatever.
Yeah.
So I stuck to that, and then I get gift cards from people, and I go no, and I go to give them back. I'm like, I didn't get you anything because we weren't gonna do this, and then once again you make me feel like a jerk. And
Well, I'm still waiting for my Farnsworth House gift card from you back then. I didn't remember you already. Wait a minute.
Just kick you while you're down.
Wait,
I don't recall you offering to give that back since you didn't get me anything.
First of all, Veronica gets me something. Guys, you be the jury on this one. Veronica gets me something, and I said, I didn't know we were doing this. I didn't get you anything, partly because I just wasn't in the gift giving. Like, it just didn't feel like I'm supposed to be giving gifts this time of year, so I'm not thinking that way. And she's like, oh, no, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. So I'm like, okay, fine. And, I took the gift because, as I understand from the Lakota culture, if you refuse a gift, it's an insult.
Yeah.
So you have to accept the gift. And so I accepted the gift, and she assured me it's okay. We're not doing tit for tat. It's not quid pro quo. And here she goes.
No, I don't remember ever having that conversation.
Well, I didn't
we
think
went
so.
to dinner before we went to New Jersey.
Okay.
We didn't talk about gifts at all.
Hold on. One at a time. Veronica, start with your defense of yourself. Go.
No, I'm. It's not my defense. I'm calling your bullshit out. is
She's
what I'm
calling
doing.
bullshit. Go ahead, Michael.
It's no big deal was a yes.
No,
Right.
we didn't even have the conversation. That's a bunch of bullshit, is what I'm telling you.
No,
We
as you were giving me it, I said.
Yeah, we go to dinner. He's like, let's go to dinner one time before we go to Christmas. Before I go down.
Before Christmas, yeah.
Right. I said, okay, great. So, in fairness, we had a little bit of a gag gift that we got like a puzzle from the Seminary Ridge or whatever it was at the Adams County Historical Society for $1, right? So I like acted like that was really the gift, and
I was happy with the jigsaw puzzle.
I wanted to see his reaction, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, he's gonna be like, what?
No, I
he's
used
like,
to
this
do.
is great. This is great. And I was like, okay, that went over like a lead balloon. Here's your real gift. It's like a little gift card to this, the Farnsworth house. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't get you anything. Like, so that was the whole conversation. Like, it wasn't like, is it okay? Are we exchanging gifts? Are we not exchanging gifts?
She got the gist of it right, but it's the superfluous flummery that came out of my mouth that she's missing. She missed several paragraphs there because I felt bad. Yeah, I felt when somebody gets you a gift and you don't get them, when you feel bad.
Yeah.
And so I felt bad.
All right. Well, then feel free to give the gift card back. we'll put it to good use.
Listen, I give you the greatest gift of all.
Teasing. Oh, friendship. Yeah. It's getting deep in here, guys. It's down there.
Okay. Anyway, so then New Year's, we went out to my friend Tammy's farm there, and I didn't realize that I was the host of this party until the night of, when I was about 20 minutes late. And she's like, you're the host, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm the host. Well, my designated driver was late because he stopped at the bar. and so we get there and everything, and it was nice. It was Colby and Taylor, his wife, myself and my left hand, and Eric and Katie. And Bo and Chris came, and it was a good time. It was a lot. It was a nice time.
Honestly,
it was fun.
Everybody there was so cool. They were so nice. That summer kitchen was awesome.
I know how to pick cool people, and there would have been two cooler people there, but they decided to go to another
with
place.
Even cooler people.
Yeah. With actual cool people.
They got upgraded this season.
Yeah. So you went somewhere else.
Yeah, so our friends Chris and Victoria Presley were kind enough to ask us to come over for dinner, and we hung out with Chris's mom is actually in town from, she lives in Florida now, but they're from Chicago. She is like the coolest lady. Joan is still in town, so hi, Joan. And then they have 3 kids that are just a boatload of fun. They're all like young and energetic, and then they have a 3-year-old puppy that's just like crazy wild and a lot of energy, and Joan has a dog, so like the whole family, the household was a lot of fun.
Action packed.
Yeah, fireworks, the whole 9, right? But we kind of like tricked the kids that fireworks, like that New Year's Eve was really like, the countdown was at 10 o'clock. So we were like, they went them up that late.
See, that's what we should have done. See, here's the problem with ours, because so Tammy and I are like, all right, well, what time do we have people come over? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it till midnight. And so, well, why don't we come over at 8? That way we could all take naps during the day and all that stuff. So that's what we did. And, but so, okay, so here's the thing. I you know how I've got the anxiety and the depression and everything like that. For some reason, I've been a little off this winter so far, the end of the year.
Yeah.
A little off, and I can't put my finger on it.
It was probably starting right around the time you forgot Christmas gifts. That was probably the start
It was
of the
a
whole
little before
downward
that.
spiral.
It was basically when November started. So I started like, I just like forget things. But anyway, so the anxiety and all that stuff.
Christmas gifts.
Like Christmas gifts, yeah.
Get them, yeah.
And
all right,
people,
I'm done,
and
guys.
people to give the gifts to, and I have a bunch of gifts at home. I just forgot who I bought them for. No, so so the anxiety, right? Yeah. Okay, so I have a doctor's appointment one Friday, and I say I need more of my anxiety meds. I'm running out, or I'm out. And she's like, okay. So she writes it, sends it off to the pharmacy. Well, the pharmacy doesn't have it.
Yeah.
I got to wait till Monday. And of course, this pharmacy doesn't have weekend hours, but they don't get deliveries on the weekend anyway. So either way, I'd had to wait till Monday. Okay, so no problem. But this anxiety that I'm having that particular weekend, it was like really, my heart's racing, like just, and it was driving me nuts. So, I mean, I don't know if you know this about me, but I hate weed. I hate potheads. I hate everything. Well, I hate's a strong word. I just don't get it. I don't like it. I don't want anything to do with it. But I was desperate. So I went to the vape shop and because I know that they've been selling CBD and this stuff called Delta 8, which they explained this to me probably 30 times as to how this is legal, and I still don't understand it. But basically, what I think I understand is that it's a different strain of THC. And THC, okay, follow me here, is the chemical that makes you high when you smoke pot.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm so wound up. I'm like, you know what? I have a good talk with him, and I'm like, I don't like this stuff. So, like, is it gonna, like, I just need to feel relaxed. I don't want to feel altered, you know? He goes, no, it's fine. Like, you know, it's very mild. And I said, okay, great. So I'm walking home. I got a tincture of CBD and a tincture of THC, the Delta 8, and I'm walking home. And I go, well, let me just take a medicine dropper now so that by the time I get back to the house, I could just lay down. And it was raining. So it was a Saturday, and I was like, there's nothing to do, so I'm going to watch Dexter. So I get into my bed, I turn on Dexter, I'm watching it, an episode finishes, I don't feel any better. I don't feel less anxious, I don't feel relaxed, everything is still, so I'll take another one. Do another 2 of each, or 1 of each. Another episode goes by, still not feeling anything. So I'm like, okay, man, either this stuff is all bull, or I'm just so fat that I have to take a lot of things for it to work, which is a legitimate thing. And so I take another, and then halfway through that episode, nothing. So I take another.
No.
So now I've taken 4 in less than 3.
What desperation will kill you?
I think the good news is you can't OD on marijuana. Right? Like, I've never heard of it.
You can be on a really wild ride for a little bit.
So it's now like 5:30, and I go, well, I better start thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner. So I go downstairs. I get out of the bed, and halfway down the staircase, it hit my brain all at once, and I had to brace myself on the walls,
ninja style.
But because my knees buckled, and I'm like swaying and like uncontrollably, like my muscles are spasming. I'm like, what the frig is going on? So I make it down the remaining 4 stairs, and I stand in my kitchen now between the countertop and the stovetop. And I'm just swaying back and forth. Remember when you were a little kid, you brace yourself and you'd swing your legs? Like that was me, except my legs were still on the ground. It was my head that was swinging. So I go to start thinking, what am I going to eat? And I go and I grab my iron skillet. And I don't have this. I'm so relaxed. I don't have the strength to pick this thing up. Now they're heavy, but they're not that heavy, right? So I go, I better not be cooking. If I can't handle this like that, I shouldn't cook with this hot iron skillet. Yeah. It's, there's a disaster that's about to happen. So I order a pizza. I order the pizza. They say, okay, it'll be an hour before it gets there. Fine. I sit down on the couch, and it dawns on me. I go, holy shit, an hour? I don't know where I'm going to be in an hour. Like, I haven't done this before. What do I expect? I don't know what to expect. So I go, well, if I go upstairs, I'll fall asleep, or I won't hear her knock. Yeah. So I'm going to stay right here on the couch for an hour. So I sit there and I stare at the wall for an hour. I don't remember what happens and I don't know if it was actually an hour. If it was an hour, then I definitely lose time when I do this stuff. If it wasn't an hour, they just overestimated how long it would take. But anyway, so she gets there. I go to the door, and I know her because she's delivered before, and I've gone in there, and so I strike up conversations with people. And so she's, oh, hi, how you doing? And I go, I'm good. Now, I'm having this conversation with her, and I have no idea what I'm saying. I have no idea if I'm so I have no idea what to say. So all I do is go, yeah, something like that. Or, yeah, So I saw her like 2 weeks later, and I go, hey, listen, when you came to my house a couple of weeks ago, she goes, yeah. And I go, was I weird? She's like, no, I didn't notice anything. I'm like, seriously? She goes, yeah. And then I told her the whole story, and then I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, this whole high thing, like I had one slice of pizza, and I couldn't feel the food in my mouth. And so I was like, I'm not going to eat more of this because I might end up just chewing my tongue for dinner, Yeah. So I have that piece. I go back upstairs.
You must have been rocked, huh?
Yeah. It doesn't sound like weed, though. I think they slip bath salts or something.
Wait a minute. That's the problem with the edible stuff. I feel like is like because it will take a while to kick in, and then oftentimes I've heard of many people doing exactly what you did, and it'll just hit you like a
it's a rookie mistake.
Yes. So Brian from the chat says Snoop calorie.
Yeah, right. So if only I had that man's swagger. No, so he. Not he. So then I go upstairs, and now I'm baked for the rest of the night, and I think I watched like an entire season of Dexter by the time I fell asleep. I don't remember falling asleep. Woke up the next day, but I felt fine. Like my anxiety was gone. I felt more relaxed than I ever felt after the fact. I'm sure it was still working its way through my system, but I didn't feel high or anything like that. So I know this is a long story, and I'm going over my segment here, but so fast forward to New Year's Eve. So now I'm not doing it that much. I do one of each in the morning and one of each before bed, and that's enough to just get me relaxed and everything, right? Although certain times I might take a little bit more if I'm feeling particularly whatever. But the problem is...
One of the steps is acknowledging you have a problem. I think that is...
Yes. I have a problem figuring out the right dosage. No, so I... before New Year's Eve, as I'm waiting for my designated drivers, I go, well, it's like 7:45. If I take it now, by the time it metabolizes, we'll be winding down anyway, and it'll be perfect because then I'll just come home and go to bed. But it kicked in around 9:45 instead of the estimated 10:45 that I thought it would be.
Which was perfect timing for me.
Which was
right. But also, it's New Year's Eve. Who's anticipating going to bed at 10:45 when you're out for a party? First off, there's the big issue with that. I'm gonna go to the party at 8, get done at 10:45. It's not like
no, not get done.
Oh, okay.
I'll start to feel it at 10:45,
okay.
And I'll just coast into midnight.
Right.
Okay.
And then Happy New Year, everybody! I'm going home.
And ideally, by that point, everybody else is drunk. They won't even notice.
Exactly.
You know?
That was the hope. So what ended up happening was so I brought oysters. It was a potluck, so I brought oysters,
fancy,
unshucked. And we were talking about them ahead of time in the summer kitchen, and Bo says, he goes, "Oh, I shuck oysters all the time down in Galveston. When I was younger, I'd be shucking those things and everything like that." Right, great. A little later, Tammy says, "Hey, you better get in there and shuck those oysters. People are going to want to start to eat soon." I'm like, "Okay, show me how to do it. I've never shucked an oyster. I've done a clam, but a clam and an oyster are two different things." So Tammy comes in, she's like, "All right, you got to do this like this." And she's showing me, and she's trying to get it in the back, and she's beating on the thing. And it's not, all it's doing is just shattering the shell, right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, go get Bo. So I go get Bo, and I go, "Hey, Bo, can you show us how to do this?" Now, I learned this from Tom Sawyer. You have a task to do that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But you make it seem like, yeah, exactly, like whitewashing a fence. Yeah. You make it seem like it's the greatest thing in the world or whatever. Now, this is a slight variation on that whole play, but I go, "But can you show us how to do this? Tammy's having trouble." "Oh, yeah, sure. Now, As soon as he started, now Taylor, his wife, Colby's wife, she's very interested in learning how to do it. So she's looking over his shoulder, and I'm like, great, this is my opportunity to slink away.
This is my exit.
Because now one or both of them is going to do this.
Manual labor involved. I'm out.
Listen,
I'm out.
And with Taylor, you had a perfect target mark right there, because she is just obsessed with oysters. If she could eat them for every meal, she would.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Shucking them is like
well, that must be
a dream come true.
Very
for her.
fun relationship you guys have here.
Well, that's what they say about it.
So, I remember thinking as I'm watching them shuck these things, and I'm like, that knife is going to go right through the palm of my hand. I know it. I can tell. I'm in no state to be handling sharp objects or operating machinery, or even, frankly, having a conversation. I'm completely useless. And Colby, you can attest to this, because what did I do once we went back in the summer kitchen?
Well,
I sat in front of the fire and stared at it.
I have to kind of set the scene for this though, a little bit, because the way it was brought to my attention was actually pretty funny. But when you walk into the summer kitchen, like when you come in the door, there's a table. It's a beautiful room, and then on the other side of the table is like the wall with the fireplace, and they have the two chairs over there. It's really, really nice. Matt, he does walk in. He goes over, sits in front of the fireplace. I don't even know who was sitting over there with you. Was anybody sitting over there with you?
Ed, Tammy's husband.
Okay. And he plops down, dude, and that's where he's at, right? Well, I'm like talking to Bo, and I'm talking to all different.
Yeah, you're actually doing what you're supposed to do at a party.
Well, I am. Listen, once I start talking, good Lord, you can't get me to stop. But I'm talking to Bo, and all of a sudden I look over, and Taylor's sitting to my right. I look over at Taylor, and Taylor is just in stitches, dude. She's cracking up, but she's trying to like keep it like quiet, not bring a lot of attention to her. And I'm like, what is so funny? And she's like, watch Matt for just a second, right? And so like the whole room at this point is talking about a topic, and I can't remember what the topic was. Doesn't matter.
It wasn't. Yeah.
But needless to say, the topic it's concluded. That subject has been wrapped up, and we've moved on. And literally about 3 minutes later, Matt randomly chimes in from the chair over by the fireplace with his tidbit on the last topic, and it's not even like a profound tidbit either.
No. You know what it was?
It was something about doilies being nice.
It was I just went, yeah.
Well, the first one I remember was someone
so
was talking.
stupid.
I think Eric was talking about they had put doilies in this plate, and randomly after we had passed on, Matt looks up and goes, "That's a good idea with the doilies." And like leaves it. But you can see his eyes are just swimming over there. He's feeling it.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah. It was hysterical.
It was the bourbon that you gave me. That's what it was.
It was a great New Year's, to say the least.
Yeah, so it definitely dulled my senses for the month that I've been using it, and so that's why I think I have to stop using it, because I'm too.
Are you back on the anxiety meds too?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So you replaced it with this?
I replaced it, yeah, and frankly, it worked better, but not at the expense of being functional.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I had
There's
my
no
fun.
side effects to just stopping the anxiety med, like cold turkey?
No,
you don't take
not
off
this
that
one.
stuff?
No,
Okay, I don't know.
yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not like Xanax where you can get addicted or something. I'm very worried about that. So I always tell the doctor, it's like, I can't get addicted to this, right? They're like, no. It is habit forming. So anyway, that was my exciting weekend, or not weekend, 4th of July. Yeah, thank you. New Year's Eve.
Mine too.
Yeah, it was yours too. And that was it. And what did you do, Mike Lentz? Were you here around for?
Yeah, I was here. I went out to brunch on Christmas Eve and went out to friend of the show, Mason-Dixon Distillery. They had a great brunch out there.
Lobster rolls? Is that when they had that?
I had lobster rolls. Those are very nice.
Saw that picture.
Yeah, I saw it after the fact. I'm like,
yeah.
damn it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, in the toilet you saw it?
No.
Oh, not that far after.
Like after.
Oh, I thought you meant like way. I thought you meant
No.
way after the fact.
I share on social media. I don't share my stools on social media. I kind of draw a line somewhere there.
Thank you.
But also, I'm not that much of an influencer, so I'm just saying that. But for me, of course, I went there. It was great. They had, of course, their bourbon tiramisu.
Yeah.
But those are very good. And so yes, it was great. They did a great job there. The servers were fantastic.
I got a bottle of the corn whiskey for Christmas from my friend Karen.
Ooh, it's good stuff.
And yeah.
Oh, excellent stuff.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
and it was funny too because I ran out of the bottle she got me last Christmas, like 2 weeks before it arrived in the mail this Christmas.
Ooh.
And so it was perfect time.
That was perfect. Yeah, that was nice. And so I just came out here. I'm still recovering from my injury. And so I didn't do too much.
That's what I want to get into after the break. We got to go for a break because we went very long here. But when we come back, we're going to talk about. We're going to give you an update on Mike's injuries. Also, our live show on February 26th. We've got some info on that, and a bunch of other things. I actually have isolated Eric sniffling at Tim's thing, so we can play that as well if you'd like. It's I only took four of them, and those were in the first 10 minutes of the lecture. So you can imagine an hour and a half of. But we'll get to that. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, give us a call, 717-420-1978. We'd like to hear about your Christmases and New Year's and Hanukkahs and whatever else you might celebrate or not celebrate. And whatever. And what else do we have? There's Huevos Grande. Sorry, goodbye. You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going. But one way we haven't pushed too much yet is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. And that's a shame, because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or sip from your mug. So please, head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. You just might find the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop. Experience the magic of Christmas in Gettysburg. Stroll decorated streets on a festive walking food tour highlighting the sights, sounds, and unique tastes of this historic town. Enjoy stops at some of the best eateries, all while learning fascinating facts about early Christmas traditions. Admire the glittering lights, decorated storefronts, and our grand 30-foot Christmas tree in Lincoln Square, all adding to the ambiance of the most wonderful time of the year. Get started on Christmas shopping for your loved ones as we visit a few downtown stores that offer one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts. A perfect opportunity for any last-minute gift hunting you need to get done. Enjoy a private holiday tour through the Shriver House with dessert in the Shriver Saloon. This special tour will transport you back in time to Christmases of yesteryear. So make a new Christmas tradition with your family and friends. The Christmas Tastes and Traditions food tour promises to be delicious, delightful, and decidedly local. Go to SavorGettysburgFoodTours.com and book your tour today. That's SavorGettysburgFoodTours.com.
Think outside the bus and let family-owned Gettysburg Tours take you on a cycling journey across the picturesque and historic Gettysburg battlefield. There's no better way than by bicycle to gain a feel for the terrain of the battlefield. Slow enough to see it all, yet fast enough to do it all. Follow the route of Union troops entering the fray as you ride to the site of the first shots of this epic 3-day battle. Feel the drama as you put yourself in the position of a Confederate soldier just before he steps off to make Pickett's charge. Take a stand with the heroic Colonel Chamberlain on the slopes of Little Round Top, just before you view the fields of honor beneath you from its summit. All of our guides are officially licensed by the National Park Service. So don't get a sore neck trying to see out of your car, and saddle up with Gettysburg Tours for a 360-degree view of America's most important piece of real estate. Gettysburg Tours. Think outside the bus. Go to gettysburg.com or call 717-752-7752 to book a battlefield experience you will never forget.
Have you noticed our revamped website at addressinggettysburg.com? Well, that's the fine work of a man named Mike Stretch, and he also redid our logo for us. Both of them I originally designed, and both of them were originally horrible, but now they're nice, and that's all thanks to Mike. Mike has an awesome t-shirt company called Heritage Depot. There you'll find great designs based on Gettysburg and the Civil War with t-shirts and other types of merchandise. So go to heritage-depot.com and spruce up your Getty's Nerd wardrobe. That's heritage-depot.com.
Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used. And online, they have even more to choose from. And if the Civil War isn't your thing, that's not a problem. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books. It's astounding how many thousands of titles from Osprey, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more they have in their store. And that's because, well, they have a warehouse too. And that's where they keep all the books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs. And if you prefer to stop by when you're in town, well, you could do that too. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com or stop by 42 York Street, or you can call them at 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
Listening to the man who is adored by his haters and just tolerated by his fans. Here's Matt on Addressing Gettysburg Today.
Thank you, Huevos. Okay, so what was the other thing I wanted to... Oh, yeah, somebody had said in the comments section that I was... What was it? Getting high to a serial killer?
Yeah, relaxing. Yeah, you were having an anxiety attack and watching a serial killer.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about that real quick before we get back into things. When that show was first on, I really liked it, and I thought it was a clever premise. He's a serial killer, and his father was a cop, and he recognized this in him at a young age, and so he taught him how to control it and use it only against people who slipped through the cracks of law enforcement. Like they went to trial, but they were acquitted on a technicality or something like that, right? And so he only kills those who deserve it. He doesn't kill innocents. So I was like, okay, I can accept this. But watching it on this stuff, I suddenly was able to, I like to put myself in the shoes of the characters that I'm watching, right? And so, but now I was really able to do it, and it really freaked me out when he would kill people, and I'm putting myself in his shoes, not his mindset, because he's a psychopath and he doesn't have any remorse or anything like that. But I'm just saying, am I the guy? I'm just imagining I'm the guy over the body going like this with a knife in the chest, and I didn't like it. I did not like that feeling. I said, I don't think I could ever do that, which is good. Yeah. I'm glad that
so wait, this stuff was making you envision it, that you were the person?
No, I'm watching.
You normally do that?
No, I normally put myself in the shoes of the main character, of at least of the scene, if whatever.
Especially if it's an extreme.
Well, I'm sorry, honey. What?
Especially if it's like an extreme scenario like that. I feel like I like to do that too.
Yeah, you kind of. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? It's like a roller coaster. You go for an escape and a thrill and everything. Yep. Say that's what I get out of movies is I let the storyteller tell me the story, and then the second time I watch it, I actually pay attention closely. Like I kind of just go for a ride the first time. Anyway, that's all I'm saying is that I'm not particularly fond of the stuff, although I have to say it does make me feel very relaxed and happy Happy and nice. I think I understand why the hippies loved everything and everybody, because of this stuff. It's interesting, but I can't keep it going. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to other things, I've been meaning to do this for weeks, and I keep forgetting to. And I made Eric give me the information tonight. For this purpose. Okay, so this is a bag. Okay, it's a bag. And what do you do with this bag? Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to open the bag up and you're going to flip it. You're going to say, oh, look at what's in here. The Lano map book. And, a pen. And, it smells wonderful. And, the Gottfried map book. And Eric designed these based on, a Civil War, I think an artilleryman. I forget what it was that he based it on. But anyway, the idea is that it's made for you to carry your Lano book around the battlefield. And he made himself a prototype, and he was using it, and I was like, I got to have one of these. And he's like, okay. So he made me one. Bought it off of him, and then he shows up like a couple of days later, and he's got a Corps badge on his, and I go, well, I want a Corps badge on mine. So he added the second Corps badge there. He's got the 5th Corps because that's where the reserves were. And then also, as some of you may have seen already, he makes these card holders or wallets now. You got them, Mike? Yeah, I got one too. See, look at that. Mike's got one, I got one, and they look like cartridge boxes. And they're really nice. He does a really good job.
Mike's looks a little thicker than yours. I don't know if yours.
Well, you got the later one, I think.
I'm just saying yours is nothing in it.
Yeah, he made the second round bigger, and that's because you got more room in there. I got like 5 cards. That's all I could fit. But Mike's is bigger than mine.
That's right.
There, so I'll put that on the board now for you.
Yeah.
So he does that, and he gave me the way you can contact him. He is making these for sale, and I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you should absolutely get yourself one, especially if you like to explore the battlefield and bring your books with you. It's Instagram. If you go on Instagram, it's Vendettum & Co. So VONDETTUM &Co. Or Gmail, vendettumandco@gmail.com, and that's VONDETTUMANDCO@gmail.com. The great Eric, the producer, and his wonderful Leatherworks. Also, if you're into the BDSM type of stuff, he can make stuff for you as well. So that's that. Eric, the producer, there. Please help our buddy Eric out with purchasing so many of those that he can't keep up with them, and he'll have to say, okay, I can do it, but you'll please allow 6 to 8 months because I have so many orders. Okay, what else is there, Ronnie? What were we talking about? Oh, first of all, the book club. Steve Byers asked me to put out some info here for the book club. If you want to join the book club, they're wrapping up an environmental history of the Civil War, and then after that, we're going to do Sickles at Gettysburg by our friend James Hessler, and you can get those with a 20% discount if you mention Addressing Gettysburg over at For the Historian. So please call, go online, stop in, get Sickles at Gettysburg at For the Historian. When does that begin?
February 16th will be the first meeting for the Sickles at Gettysburg.
February 16th. Okay, wonderful.
So how do they get a hold of the Addressing Gettysburg book club, Matt?
Well, they would go to, they send an email, thank you. Send an email to addressinggettysburgbookclub@gmail.com.
I have an interesting story about that. So a high school friend of mine, Bob Bowser, who is a history professor and actually has something to do with the Dr. Mudd House and Historical Society, reached out to me, saw on Facebook about the announcement for the Sickles, and he was like, oh, what's the deal? Like, do you have to be in person or whatever? No, it's on Zoom. We have literally people from, Karen's out west. We have Ollie in
Hawaii.
I mean, we have people all over. So he said, I'd be really interested. I said, yeah, and I didn't realize I made a mistake, but I did. I told him email Addressing Gettysburg at gmail.com is what I typed up. I left off the book club part of that. So he sent He sent an email,
And it came back.
Some woman responded and was like, "I don't know what book club study you're talking about." So some female has
addressing Gettysburg
at gmail.com. Yeah. So do not email that if you're interested in joining the book club, which I highly suggest. It's an awesome group of people.
Yeah.
Do not email addressinggettysburg at gmail.com.
Right.
Email addressing Gettysburg book club at gmail.com.
Right, because even the show's generic Gmail account is addressing Gettysburg podcast at gmail.com. Probably because she had addressing Gettysburg. I wonder who that is.
I know her name. I don't know if you would know who it is, but he said who responded back, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Write it down. Write her name down.
Book study or something. So I was like, I am so sorry. I totally gave you the wrong information.
But that's a good point. There is no prerequisite to join the book club. Just email Steve at addressinggettysburgbookclub at gmail.com.
Yeah. There is a height requirement, though, right? No, there is no height requirement.
Well, the stool I'm sitting on, I'm going lower and lower, and so I'm quickly getting out of that height requirement very quickly there.
If you listen on the free feed coming out this Monday, I believe. Let's see, what came out this past Monday? Do you remember? Nope, don't know.
No,
let's see. I can look this up here real quick.
You put out the.
It's the Shriver family.
Right. So then this coming Monday. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, it's the medical Ask a Guide with Rick Schrader and Fran Fayak.
Oh nice.
And that was a lot of fun to do. Because, and that was like the first, we've done things that like kind of touched on medical from like a 30,000 foot point of view. But these guys are actually in the medical field. Like Rick was a surgeon and he dealt with people that were like mangled in accidents and things like that, which are similar type of ghastly wounds that you would see in a Civil War battlefield and all that. And I just loved talking to them and being able to ask them all these questions that I've always wondered about medical. And we could have gone on for 4 hours, but I think we capped it off at 3:59.
It was a long episode. Like one of the Hessler episodes.
It was.
I got a request for that episode.
Uh-huh.
Or if you ever talk to those guys again, I'd be interested to see like down into the nitty gritty things like needle thoracentesis. You like there's a thing.
Say what?
It's a procedure you do for someone that gets like they're next to a concussion. Basically, you have two layers to your lung. One of them pops, one of them doesn't, and it keeps filling up. Nowadays, we know how to treat that.
Right.
It's called needle thoracentesis. Is what you do.
Is that a collapsed lung?
Well, it's a tension pneumothorax. So you see it a lot with like an IED blast.
Okay.
You'll see it where if someone gets knocked against something, it's
like a bruising.
It'll pop the lung, but the pleural skin won't pop. Right. So there's like one part of your lung, contrasts. One part expands.
Right.
The part that contracts pops. The part that expands doesn't. So every time you take a breath, that one side just keeps getting bigger, and you'll get like tracheal deviation and all that stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see, like back then.
Well, I wish you were here that day, because then you could have asked that question. That's a great question. I don't even know half of those words you said, so you'll have to be here next time they're on, because we're going to have them on again to talk about other things, because we just couldn't cover everything. But as you'll hear in the beginning, if you listen with your children, I would suggest listening to this first. And then if you think it's okay for them, listen to them afterwards. Because we talk about medical things, body parts, anatomy, VD, so, and how they treated it. And there's no delicate way to talk about how they treated VD back in those days.
No.
Ouch. Wonderful. And then let's see, Monday, Brad Gottfried on Patreon. This past week we had Jeff Shara on. And a lot of people really liking that interview. It's got a lot of comments, not a lot, but it's got on Patreon itself, there's not always a heap of comments, because I think a lot of people, I don't know how they listen, but whatever. But this one had a lot of good comments, and they were all very positive, and they really liked it. So check it out if you haven't yet over on patreon.com, et cetera, et cetera. Brian Mallon later in the month, and so on and so forth, et cetera, and whatnot. Ronnie, big event coming up February.
Yeah.
The end of the month. February 26th.
Huge.
So big I can't remember the date.
See, you're making fun of me.
I know.
And it comes back full circle.
I know. But what was I going to say now? Oh, yeah. Okay, let me tell you a couple of things about this. Now, first of all, so I released it to the patrons first. I think it was Saturday or Sunday last week. But I think it was Sunday. Released the link so that they can get their tickets, because this is what we do with our patrons. They get knowledge and opportunity first because they pay. And so I would say we had about 15 signups from that.
Oh, cool.
And then the next day I just posted it on Facebook. Just a link and a little thing, hey, this is what we're doing. And by Tuesday it had sold out.
Wow.
So that was a surprise, because the reason I put it on sale now was because I figured it would take 2 months for it to sell out, but no, it sold out pretty quick.
It's a pretty good deal. I mean, dinner and a drink and everything included. It's not just entry to the event.
Dinner,
and
right.
everything. Yeah, it was a
dinner, drink, and of course some of the greatest entertainment you'll find this side of the Susquehanna.
Especially on the evening of February 26th.
Especially that night. Yeah. Exactly. A lot of people say, well, I was going to go to that thing all day at the seminary. Which you could absolutely do that, because that's done at 5:30, I think.
Right.
Our doors open at 6 and everything starts at 7. So you can get in there, get your order, start noshing, as they say, and then the show will start roughly around 7 o'clock. And God, I'm actually kind of nervous. Not about the show itself, but all of the possibilities that could go wrong. It just in the setup,
It's live, man.
It's live.
That's a consequence of being live.
I know. I don't mind the technical. I mean,
can you explain that?
It's live in front of a studio audience. It's not live.
To be recorded.
Yeah, but still
live to
getting
tape.
Gotcha.
Getting that presence of
Now you have to go. Now you have to put that the show must go on kind of a thing into play.
That's right.
When you're dealing with recording, you're so used to being able to get perfection.
Exactly. No. I'm not even worried. No, it's not even that I'm worried about. I'm worried about there's some like glitch in the equipment we use or something like that. Just something that I can't. But it always works that way,
Exactly. But I mean, you have all this experience recording Tim. All joking aside,
I know.
I mean that's
it's different though. So I'm gonna have basically replicate this setup.
Yeah.
Not with all this equipment, because I'm too lazy to tear it down and set it up again.
It's also thrilling because you have a studio audience.
Yeah.
Well, you have an audience now that you can respond to, and they can respond to you.
Well, so
that'll be interesting and add a new element to the show.
I'm looking forward to that part. Yeah. And then I bought a wireless mic so Eric can roam around. Or no, you're going to do it now.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I'm going to go around.
So I think that's better, is because there's an opportunity he might fall, and then we'll have a laugh. No, people would love to meet 6 Questions Lentz. And so, but whatever. So we have a wireless so that people can ask questions. So this year, or not this year, but this time for this show, when it comes time to do the listener questions, the listeners are going to ask them themselves. I hope you're going to do that, because you guys don't call in when we say to call in. So maybe you're afraid to hear your own voice on a microphone. But that's the idea, is that people are going to do that. And what we're talking about, Tim is our guest guide, and we're going to talk about the making of the movie as it pertains to the Farnsworth House and how that was the headquarters, if you will, the officers club for the actors. They kind of took the place over. Tim said that he's going to try to get Lawrence Schultz to come and talk a little bit about it as well, because he, has memories of that and everything. Bo Brinkman will be there, and Patrick Gorman is coming out from California. And I have to thank Bill and Cindy Etzkorn for that, because Bo and I we were all out one night at the Farnsworth House. And I was talking to Bo about how I want to do this, and I'm like, yeah, but I need other people. You're good. But I need, you've been on a lot, and I said I'd like to get Patrick Gorman, but he's in L.A., so I don't know how we'll fly him out here. Because I have to buy some equipment, and so I'm already I'm starting this in the hole. So I didn't want to spend money on anybody's airfare. It's like, get here or not. And then a couple of other people that nothing is solid yet with either one of them yet. But anyway, so Bill and Cindy are there with us, and I guess they hear the conversation. And a little later, Cindy says, I have 2 free plane tickets that I won, and I'll give them to you guys for him. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. So so I said, and Cindy, you're in charge of that. So here's his email address. I'll introduce you guys, and you handle it because I can't.
So do you know the background behind that story? How she won them? I think it's
her
cool.
Father-in-law nominated her for Frontline Hero
worker,
or
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was before he passed, unfortunately. We know that Bill lost his dad not long ago, so pretty cool. Pretty neat story that
And it worked out because she said she's probably not going to use them for anything, and so they would just go to waste. And so this is great.
That's wild. That was very generous. That goes without saying. Bill and Cindy have been generous throughout. But
absolutely,
this is a little bit over and beyond. I mean, 2 airline tickets to the other coast is a pretty nice contribution.
I know it's. It's great because then he's able to come out, and I think originally he was going to bring his daughter, but he said he called me last night and said that he's not going to be able to do that with her. She's not going to be able to come out, but he might bring someone else. So we'll see. We will see. Other than that, Michael, let's get into something very important here.
Absolutely.
Did we do this already? No. I feel like we did, but we didn't.
No.
Okay. So your wounds. Refresh us. Hip. Hamstring.
That's
hamstring, hip.
Strained hamstring, sprained hip.
And you were laid up not laid up, but you were just taking it easy for what, like 2 weeks?
Well, 6 weeks, actually.
6 weeks?
Yes, absolutely.
This has been 6 weeks.
Absolutely, all told, yep.
Amazing.
Unreal. That's a long way off, man. That's a lot of time off of work.
It certainly is.
And so you were told by your doctor you got to take off of work.
Yes.
And you take off of work.
Yes.
And you realize, well, shit, if I'm not working, I'm not getting paid.
Yes.
And the bills don't care. They say, oh, they're still due,
Absolutely.
So you started a GoFundMe.
I did.
And you were able to get more than you asked, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. I got about 50% more than I was asking for because the listeners of this podcast are extraordinarily generous.
Oh, they just
they came through in a big way. Among those, Bill and Cindy were among them, but all sorts of different people came through, and I cried multiple times.
I bet you did, yeah.
That, yes,
I would too.
It was fantastic, and it just really set me up that I didn't have to worry about that during the Christmas period. So it was fun.
Yeah, that's like the worst time of year too.
Absolutely.
And then imagine if you didn't have that, and then you were alone on Christmas.
Oh yeah, I was.
I mean, we got the makings of something horrible there,
Bro, I was alone on Christmas. We should have done something. We could have got drunk together or something. Man.
You weren't alone. You were with your wife.
No, she was working on Christmas Day. I was down in my studio.
Were you real? That's how you spent your Christmas?
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas.
Wow. I was just doing a Christmas movie marathon and enjoying some liquor. So there you go.
Oh, what liquor?
Oh, I got some of the spiced rum from Mason Dixon Distillery.
That's a good one.
I blended that in a little bit with some eggnog, and it was not bad. Yeah, it was nice.
I like to blend it with yogurt and honey.
Ooh.
No, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Actually, I'm going to try it when I go home, but
it's not the worst thing I've ever
Sounds
heard.
disgusting.
It does. At my work, I legitimately had someone mix Mellow Yellow and Barks root beer.
That reminds me of back in the day when the kids would do everything at the soda fountain,
The politically incorrect term for it. Yeah, but yeah.
What was the politically incorrect?
It was called suicide.
That's what it was. I thought it was kamikaze at first. But
suicide.
You're right.
It was called a suicide.
Why is it suicide?
I don't know.
Because that's what they would call it. Yeah.
That's back when they also had Surge was still a drink.
Surge. I remember Surge. Yes.
Maybe that's why they called it that, because that stuff's dangerous.
I didn't like that at all. I thought it tasted disgusting.
Oh man, it's terrible.
Although I don't like Mountain Dew or anything like that either. To be honest,
it was like Mountain Dew, but with extra sugar.
Yeah.
It seemed like
extra sugar.
Interesting story about Surge. That was so they hosted a concert back at. Oh my God, it's changed its name so many times, but the local outdoor theater outside of Pittsburgh, and that was the very first live concert I went to. Was Surge Fest.
That sounds like a good time.
It was all day. It was almost like a 3-stage Woodstock kind of thing, bands on every stage and but yeah.
Yeah, a festival.
Festival, yeah.
Yes. Was it Lollapalooza?
No.
No?
Well, it's good to see that Owen found us.
Yeah, Owen is apparently confused because this isn't Facebook. Poor Owen. All right, so here, people are dying to hear these, I'm sure. The first thing I'm going to play, though, is not actually Eric. It is Eric sent me a video this morning, and he said, you've got to get this for the board. So it was from the Tim Smith myth-busting episode, and there's 2 of them. So here's one.
Bullshit.
Okay. There's Tim. I think we were talking about like divining rods and
yes.
and cadaver dogs.
Bullshit.
Okay. That's what he thinks about those things, and then he also reiterates it later.
Bullshit.
It's they sound very similar.
Bullshit.
But they're very different.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
You gotta love his conviction, man. He's just
no, he means it.
Bullshit.
When he says bullshit, he means bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Like
bullshit.
Okay, there's the first one, but listen.
Bullshit.
He does the like Cam does.
Yes.
Yeah, the bullshit.
Bullshit.
Oh, shit.
There's my boy right there, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Oh, shit. I said shoot.
Oh my God, that's the best part of the whole thing.
I said shoot. Oh, shit.
I miss Cam. Oh, poor Cam. He's not in. He's in West Virginia again. I asked him if he was going to be able to come by tonight, but he goes, "No, I'm teaching." He goes, "I'm teaching."
It's a long holiday weekend. He could have made it up here. They can't have school on Monday.
You know.
He doesn't love us anymore.
It's not a holiday weekend in West Virginia.
No, get out
they don't
of here.
have Martin Luther King Day in West Virginia.
Did you not text him back fast enough?
No, I texted him and said, "You gonna be around tonight?" And he goes, "No, I'm in West Virginia." He goes, "Hey, I didn't know." What did he say? I didn't know that we was supposed to get tickets for the Farnsworth house, and now there ain't none. And I said, "Well, Kim, you can get in there."
You're
I
VIP,
said,
dude.
Yeah, we're gonna make you a busboy. You can come in.
He's Cam the usher.
Yeah, yeah, right. There you go. Party of 2. Okay, here's your table. No, we're a party of 4.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
It's not that big of a deal, Cam. You know, it's okay.
Kind of got out of hand.
What's that?
Phone lines aren't open? Question mark.
Apparently.
They are open. 717-420-1978. Sorry, it's probably not on the screen. I forgot to put it back up. But the phone lines are open. I'm looking at them right now. 717-420-1978. Please call in and whatever. Okay, but anyway, let's get on to the sniffling. Eric sniffling at Tim Smith's lecture last Sunday. And this was brought to my attention by a listener. I believe his name was Justin. I don't recall. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure it was Justin. So imagine you're listening to Tim talking and you hear a sniffle. And it's almost like he waits until Tim takes a breath so that everybody knows he's sniffling. Here we go. Here's one.
And I spent a lot of time walking in the creek and, taking photographs into the creek.
Did you hear it?
No.
Wait, listen closely in the background.
And I spent a lot of time walking in the creek and, taking photographs into the creek.
Okay, that's in stereo too. I heard it originate in the left. The echo was in the right. Okay, let's go to sniffle number 2.
These, important landmarks. So,
you hear it? Did you hear that one?
I did.
It's right when he. Okay,
I
listen.
heard it.
It's like a Where's Waldo.
Important landmarks. So,
There's all this other noise
I know,
now. I don't know.
I
I mean, it's not like it's just.
East of the battlefield, we have Culp's Hill and, of course, Rock Creek. And west of the battlefield, we have Marsh Creek.
Right there.
There it is.
It's like you knew it was coming because there was a pause. You could feel the pause coming, and you knew the sniffle was
East of
coming.
the battlefield, we have Culp's Hill and, of course, Rock Creek. And west of the battlefield, we have Marsh Creek. And Rock Creek actually... Bullshit. because it was an obstacle for the Confederate units to attack Cobb's Hill. But, there's no place.
You're right, it is at every break.
So that's Eric laughing there. Or not laughing, sniffling. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to take ourselves yet another break, ladies and gentlemen. How do we do it? I don't know. But we're going to come back after the break. Veronica's news, a couple of other things to fill you in on, and hopefully your calls. We've missed you, and we can't believe you're not calling yet. So we'll be right back.
Velveeta, Knucklehead, Underwear, you are cleared for takeoff. But don't go far. We'll be back before you can say John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going. But one way we haven't pushed too much yet is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. And that's a shame, because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or sip from your mug. So please, head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. You just might find the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop. Winter is coming. But that doesn't mean there's no reason for you to come to Gettysburg. In fact, there are more reasons for you to come to Gettysburg. Don't believe me? Well, how about not having to wait an hour and a half for a table at your favorite restaurant? How about not having to sit in traffic for a half an hour just to go 2 blocks in town? Are those not enough for you? Okay. How about seeing the battlefield with no leaves on the trees or corn that grows taller than a man to obscure your views? Now you'll actually be able to see the lay of the land. Ah, now I've got your interest. All right, what about this? Licensed battlefield guides that we have on the show have less hectic schedules, and they're able to take you on a tour that will enhance that better visibility. Just as I thought. Now you're with me. And now that you are, head over to addressinggettysburg.com/LBG or call 717-693-0182 for larger groups. That's addressinggettysburg.com/LBG or 717-693-0182. Experience the magic of Christmas in Gettysburg. Stroll decorated streets on a festive walking food tour highlighting the sights, sounds, and unique tastes of this historic town. Enjoy stops at some of the best eateries, all while learning fascinating facts about early Christmas traditions. Admire the glittering lights, decorated storefronts, and our grand 30-foot Christmas tree in Lincoln Square, all adding to the ambiance of the most wonderful time of the year. Get started on Christmas shopping for your loved ones as we visit a few downtown stores that offer one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts. A perfect opportunity for any last-minute gift hunting you need to get done. Enjoy a private holiday tour through the Shriver House with dessert in the Shriver Saloon. This special tour will transport you back in time to Christmases of yesteryear. So make a new Christmas tradition with your family and friends. The Christmas Tastes and Traditions Food Tour promises to be delicious, delightful, and decidedly local. Go to SavorGettysburgFoodTours.com and book your tour today. That's SavorGettysburgFoodTours.com. Well, the 2021 season is over, but that doesn't mean you can't get a jump on next season. In fact, Gettys Bike Tours will reward those who do so with a 15% discount. All you got to do is book a tour for 2 people or more between now and March 31st of 2022, and you'll receive 15% off your tour. So call 717-752-7752 and book today. Discount only applies to tours. Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. Isn't it, Eric?
You're darn tootin', Matt.
It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used, and online they have even more books to choose from.
But Matthew, what if the Civil War is simply not my thing?
Not a problem, my fine four-fendered friend. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books.
It's astounding how they squeeze thousands of titles from Osprey, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more into their store.
And it's also astounding how you and I both squeeze into our pants every day. Well, handsome, they have a warehouse too, and that's where they keep all those books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs.
What if I prefer to browse in the store and don't want to go online to get my book?
Great question, Doodlebug. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com, stop by 42 York Street, or call 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207. Audiobook narrator Mike Scott. When selecting your next audiobook, choose from some of the great titles narrated by audiobook narrator Mike Scott, like Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864. And if you're an author or publisher interested in having your written works produced as audiobooks, give Mike a shout at MikeScottVoice.com. Mike Scott, the voice of history. And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own.
Need a Corps badge or other insignia for your uniform? Then check out the Badge Maker. Here's what some of his satisfied customers had to say. Miranda said, I ordered an identification disc from Joe and it's fantastic. He hand stamped it exactly as I wanted. It has a great rough on-campaign feel to it and was reasonably priced to boot. Greg said, my unit has purchased from him in the past. Quality badges and good service. And Jerry S. says, the Badge Maker is the go-to place for accurate replica Civil War badges. Visit CivilWarCorpsBadges.com and attach a message with your order saying you heard about him on Addressing Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, a Nation Divided mobile app, is relaunching this summer. Gettysburg, a Nation Divided is an award-winning mixed reality mobile application using augmented reality technology. It transports users into the most crucial moments in the Battle of Gettysburg, the turning point of the Civil War. Users can listen and watch historic figures share their stories as lifelike animated avatars, traverse 360-degree image sequences of the battlefield. Its cinematic battle sequences are narrated by actor Scott Eastwood. The mobile app is available for free on iOS and Android. It's designed to be used anywhere, at home, at school, at the park, or at Gettysburg National Military Park. It uses GPS to help guide you through your journey to see the stories and events unfold at the exact location where they occurred. So go into your phone's app store and get it now for free. That's Gettysburg, a Nation Divided.
What's up, everybody? It's Pat McGuire, co-host of the History Things podcast. Co-host Matt Borders and I offer a fresh new podcast taking on some of the most famous as well as some of the most unheard of stories from U.S. and world history. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the History Things podcast. As always, thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
Like wiping with sandpaper. Ouch! Here's Matt and the gang.
What was under the table that you were staring at?
I knocked one of your bullets off, so I'll have to.
Oh, damnation.
I know.
That's all right. It wasn't an authentic Civil War bullet, so it's okay.
It's under there somewhere.
Okay, well, we'll get to it eventually, I guess. What else?
When's this music coming out?
Oh, that's a great question. Never. At the rate we're going, I have no idea what his plan. I actually need to call him and see what that. Because I would like So if February 26th goes over well, we'll do it again. And I would like to have Billy come and play. For warm up. Like this time, I'm just going to make a song list and then just have it playing in the background as everybody's assembling and all that stuff, and then the show will start. But it would be cool to have someone actually perform. Yeah. But let's get the album out first, and then we'll see. But yeah, so hopefully soon he should be wrapping up with that. Oh, the light went off because I just knocked it out of my thing here. So hold on a sec. We got these new stools, by the way, and Shit, I left the paper at home. Somebody. Is that it?
No, I think these are instructions.
Yeah. Somebody had. Hold on, let me plug this light back in here real quick. Come on.
You're plugging that in there, Matt.
Yeah.
Ultimately, very suggestive.
What?
Never mind. Moving on.
Oh, the way it looks, you mean?
Yes, on camera.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry.
You're plugging it into where?
I'm plugging it into the USB port on the strip. No, we got these new stools in, and they're great. They're very. I'm sitting in one today. It's a little taller at its lowest. It's probably the highest that my old stool was.
Yeah.
At its lowest, which I like, except the table is too low. So what I'm gonna do is just but it's got this great footrest on it, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it to the guests. I'm gonna take my old one back though, because it's only fair that the guests should be the most comfortable.
How are they going to be the most comfortable? I thought you were saying it's uncomfortable
No.
because it's too high.
No. It's uncomfortable because it's too high for me. Because I like to sit more under the table.
I see what you're saying.
But somebody else could sit further back and whatever.
I got you.
But no, it's in and of itself, it's a very comfortable stool. But when you try to get under the table, we didn't make the table high enough because I didn't know stools went this high. But like it goes higher.
Wow.
See, look, it goes like all the way. I got to actually stand on my tiptoes to get up on the thing, and then I can just kind of slink down, and it's a lot of fun for everybody. Well, for me at least. Hey, do you go into Walmart here?
No.
Never.
No, I'm teasing.
Okay.
I do.
I've been to Walmart, yes.
And it's an adventure every time.
It is an adventure, and it's also the adventure for me is trying to not be blindsided by the fake baby in an incubator.
Oh my gosh, dude. That is the craziest display I've ever seen in any kind of store, let alone a Walmart. Why do they even
March
have
for
that?
Dimes or something. It's a charity. Like you're supposed to put money in there. But
there's
it's something. I feel
It also looks like it's from 1960.
Well,
like
I
it
know.
looks old.
Because it
put
probably
the money
is.
right on top of the baby.
Well, that's what it is. It's like you put the money on top of where the baby is, and you don't throw it on the baby. It's a separate container. But it's like I'm looking at it today. I walk by it now, so they move it around.
Oh, okay. I know.
Okay, and so I'm used to seeing it as you leave because they have it there, right?
Yeah.
So I just avert my eyes because it's a very realistic looking baby. That's what it is, and it's disturbing. So, well, isn't it?
I mean,
don't you find it disturbing?
I think the concept is like, hey, I'm getting here to do some shopping. Oh, here's the worst thing you could see before for your day. Enjoy shopping. Thanks for coming. It's
Be
just
thankful.
It's just a baby. It's not like a deformed baby or anything.
No.
Right? So like, what's
sad.
It looks so real.
No, but I think that's the thing, like getting your attention to donate because there are kids in
Of
real
course.
life.
It's shocking you into charity. Well, that's the thing. Is that you're right. You go in there for some toilet paper.
And now my heart's broken.
And peanut butter, and then you're like, oh, this poor baby. And then you go, you know what? I don't need this toilet paper. And then you take the money we're going to spend on the toilet paper and you give it to the baby. No. But anyway, so there's money in there, and I'm looking. There's 5s, there's 20s, there was 150 I saw, and I go, man, that really freaking works. So we're going to have a baby incubator for donations to the show.
I know a guy.
If you don't donate, you hate babies.
Oh God.
But yeah, no. So now they moved it. So now you catch it. It catches you when you come in.
Oh.
They have it right. You know where the customer service desk is, right?
Yep.
So they have it right after that, right as the men's section starts. And it got me today. I walked in there. I was looking the other way when I walked in, and then I turned my head around, and poof, there's the baby. And I was like, God damn it! It's babies everywhere. I thought it was gone. I had gotten so adept at avoiding it on the way out that and then I took for granted that it would always be there. And then sure enough, here it is. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to bring up there. I have to burp. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So yeah. I know, it was. Listener emails. I knew I was forgetting something. I got some listener emails. We'll do that, and then we'll get into the news there, and then we'll go have dinner, okay? How's that sound? Good. Kevin Randolph says, thank you again for this wonderful show and community. You're welcome. AG Today has, in my opinion, really tied the AG community together in a very visible way and has increased my enjoyment of the various offerings you have. Wow, that is a very well-written sentence. You and Eric have done so much to increase my knowledge and enjoyment of this amazing place and its history, and bringing Vicky on has just made it significantly better also.
Nice.
Matt Tremont, it's either Tremont or Tremont. Sorry, Matt, I don't know how you pronounce it there. So he says, I actually found you by way of YouTube first, just stumbled on it one day while watching some battlefield trust and preservation videos. From there, I found the podcast, and I'm fortunate enough to have a job where I can throw a podcast on while I'm at my desk throughout the day, so I've been ripping through your episodes pretty steadily. As far as the Patreon part, I felt like the show was a worthy investment. I like the way the show is set up, and the connections you have to bring in guests you do is great as well. That place is a very special place, and you do it justice. That is from Matt. Matt, thank you very much. It's very nice of you to say, especially that last line there. It is a very special place, and I'm glad somebody thinks that we do it justice. I'm sure other people do, but somebody put it into words, and I thank you. Cynthia Haynes. She says, I found your YouTube posts a few months ago when I was searching for a Tim Smith video. I really enjoy the Ask a Battlefield Guide posts. My grandmother was from Gettysburg, and I am coming for a visit in a few weeks. I posted to your Facebook Messenger a message board and asked some advice, and Eric was very helpfully replied, so I wanted to support you, Cindy. So see, nice. She had a question, Eric answered her, boom, patron.
Nice.
And let's see, Dave, he says, a better question. This is in response to the question, how did you find us and what made you decide to become a patron? He says, probably a better question would be, why did it take so long for you to find us? And the answer to that is YouTube's recommendation algorithms are absolute garbage. Great. We just started over on YouTube. Probably half of my search queries over the past 2 years have been things like Gettysburg, Matt Atkinson, Gettysburg Battle Lecture, Civil War Battlefield Walks, Gary Gallagher's Civil War Lecture, etc. Your podcast literally popped up about a week ago, and now I'm addicted, so thanks for that. Seriously, though, I wish I could give you more. I'm a super Gettys nerd, and I live near Baltimore, so I make it to the battlefield as often as possible. My wife and I moved from Richmond, Charlottesville, VA, about 4 years ago, and I really got into the Civil War after seeing the remnants of revetments. I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Have you ever seen that word? Is that a military word there, Colby?
I know that. Say the context.
Revetments. REVETMENTS.
They said they saw the revetments.
Remnants of revetments.
I have no clue, man. That might be something like artillery related, maybe.
I'm thinking, like, I don't know. I've never come across that word.
I've heard that word before, but I don't know what
Google
that
it.
is.
And other fortifications at Chancellorsville and Drury's Bluff / Fort Darling. Anyway, thank you for what you guys do. I wish I'd found this many moons ago. Dave Hessel. It's not a she. It was a he. It was Dave. Thank you, Dave. You're very welcome. And thank you very much for listening. Thank all of you for listening. You really are the bestest in the world. That's right.
Absolutely.
Clap for him. Yes. What?
Well, real quick. So
Okay.
Mitchell left a message saying he left a voicemail. Do you mean now, Mitchell? Or did you try to call in now, or are you talking about something else?
Well, let's see. I can't access the voicemails while I have a show open here, or while I have the phone lines open. So if you meant now, just give us a call back. We'll take the call.
I left a voicemail. I want to become a patron, but I don't know what if he's referring to. Like, did he call now, or did he? Where did he?
I don't know. It's not showing that I missed any calls either. So he might have left that a while ago. No, I know, because I just checked the voicemails today, and he wasn't in there. I don't know, Mitchell, but give us a call now, and we'll walk you through it if you want to. 717-420-1978. Go ahead and make that call. What?
I was gonna say I got the definition.
Go ahead. What is it?
It's a okay. So it's a two-part definition, but it's a facing as of stone or concrete to sustain an embankment.
It's a retaining wall?
Well, especially a barricade to provide shelter against bomb fragments or strafing. So what it looks like is like an embankment at like a 45-degree angle.
I've seen those, so it glances off.
You can get under it.
I get it. All right. Well, thank you very much there, Colby.
You doing news or events first?
Mitchell said yes. So I don't know if something's up with the phone line or something. I don't know.
Let me hit refresh on this page and see if maybe it tells me different. Okay, now it says error.
Oh, no.
Okay. Hold on there, folks. Hold on. God bless America. All right, so for some reason it timed out. So here, let me just do this again. Sorry. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was this man, and he had the biggest teeth you would ever imagine a person could have. And so one day...
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
Yep, okay, hold on.
Bear with us, Mitchell.
Bear with us.
Enter your
We're just
6-digit
skipping.
PIN
Okay,
number.
I'm going to mute that for a second there. And then it's 4955. I'm reading it out loud.
You are now in the
Okay,
host
now
room
we
and
can take
manage your
calls.
callers from the Call-In Studio website.
Okay, shh. All right. Now,
All right.
what were we saying? Revetments, yes.
I feel like I needed one for that bomb that just went off over there.
Okay. Oh, that's what it was.
You doing news or events first?
Nope.
You doing news or events first?
She's the gal who knows what's going on. So take notes. There's a test at the end. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Veronica Brestensky, with news, traffic, weather, sidewalk conditions, and what's happening this weekend.
I must have all possible information. Bullshit.
All right. So what is going on, Ronnie? People have missed the news. A lot of people didn't know how to survive without the news for a month.
Right. So I want to start with bad news, right?
Okay, let's get this out of the way.
So bad news is we were talking about this before the before the year was out. The county commissioners met and they approved a tax increase for homeowners in Adams County. So that's bad news.
Wait, now hold on. I thought they were going to lower the taxes.
That was the borough.
Oh, that was the borough.
This is Adams County.
Oh,
so property taxes went up 6%.
Of course. So okay.
Yeah. So if you own a home, now I guess there's a little silver lining. The county executives are claiming that the average homeowner across Adams County is going to see an increase of about $4.17 a month. I'm sorry, $4.17 a month. I don't know if I necessarily. 6% is kind of high, so I don't know what property taxes are specifically, and I don't know where they're getting the average from. But anyway, 6% tax increase. Again, another silver lining is this is the first increase countywide in the last 4 years, and that's been a trend where it's been stagnant for 4 years. Then they approve an increase
so they're on
stagnant for 4
schedule.
years. Yeah. So
it's 6%. You said
6%
average of $4.17. Tim, what do you think about that?
Bullshit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's Tim speaking on that. Okay,
so
go
that's
ahead.
some bad news. So there's a little other bad news. This I was going to mention this last week, and then I know we had technical issues because of the snowstorm and everything like that. It's kind of bad news mixed in with a public service announcement. So I think after the new year, there were 2 folks that passed away of carbon monoxide poisoning out in Abbottstown, which is not very far from here. Apparently they were warming up their car in an attached garage to the house. And I don't know, they were in their 70s, like that's not very old. And I'm not saying that they forgot or whatever, but the concept is it's odorless, right? So like if you forget something like that and you're warming up your vehicle, public service announcement is be careful, don't do that. Open the garage door. Because the fumes got into the house and both of them succumbed to them, unfortunately. So the local like EMTs and I think fire department was kind of putting out a public service announcement, especially in the winter and everything like that. Don't do that. Make sure there's ventilation and be aware of that. Because if you do get sidetracked and you forget about it and it's down there running, it's you don't smell it. There's just no warning. It just overcomes you. So
jeez, that's
kind of sad.
Yeah, that's scary. You think you're just warming the car so your butt doesn't freeze when you sit down, and then it just gets in there.
Yeah. But related to that, there were 3 people that were taken to the hospital out of New Oxford because there was a natural gas leak inside a house that you can smell. So the warning there, the public service announcement, especially with the winter, is if you smell it, get out immediately and call the utility company immediately. But also don't forget to have your furnaces and chimneys checked, that kind of stuff. Just, normal home maintenance. So just a friendly reminder that things like that can be avoided, hopefully. So.
Well, I've made up a slogan for that.
Yeah.
Say it again. What was it? Shit, I've just forgot it now. What?
Is that
What was
conversation with yourself going well, or what?
Can I hire you for slogan services?
Ah, shit! I just forgot it now. That's it. No, what was the thing you just said about putting
Avoidable.
it? Yeah, no. Yeah, go ahead. About avoiding.
Accents are avoidable.
Oh, that's what it was. You can smell natural gas, right?
Yeah.
And so my slogan is, if you can smell it, yell it, so that everybody knows.
You dealt it or something like It's
if you've smelt it. No,
Nah,
I'm not going to go with that. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so what else you got there?
So here's that.
Wait,
I
Veronica,
guess,
hold on a second. How do you say that word?
Zabawa?
Okay, that's what I thought. Go ahead.
Funny. So I don't know if this is sad, bad, entertaining, whatever category of news it falls into, but in keeping with our tradition of vehicles striking stationary objects, specifically buildings in Gettysburg Gettysburg and the surrounding boroughs, we had a pretty epic vehicle into stationary building just this week. And so it didn't happen once, it happened twice. To the same building, same car.
Same day.
Same day. So it gets a little bit better.
How does this happen?
Twice is always more intense, too. Like, it's such an exclamation mark on that scenario.
Yeah. Just for good measure.
Yeah, right.
I think so. I want to give credit where
right.
credit's due, but the Gettysburg Times, I apologize that I had the photographer's name there, but there was a picture of it in the paper. I don't know if we have it uploaded or not, because you got to look at it to really get the visual of this. But apparently a woman, this is like 7 o'clock at night on Tuesday, by the way, so it's not like 1 a.m. or the bar's let out or anything like that. But anyway, she drove into her own house, like the door frame, apparently backed up into a tree across the street, and then pulled forward again and hit the house in a different location underneath like a big picture window to the side of the door. So
okay.
They're suspecting DUI, which not much of a shocker, but I was not able to determine that charges were filed as of yet, so I'm not going to say her name. And if it is, I'm not laughing if it was like a medical condition or something. But yeah, that picture, if you look, I mean, she did it up. She did it up good, because I mean the doors knocked in and then the windows knocked out too. Like it's
wow.
Yeah,
that is a good hit.
Yeah.
I mean, but did they explain how she did it twice?
Like the article said, she hit. I'm assuming she hit the door first, because the vehicle's parked over by the window. So she hits the door. She backs up. There's a fairly. If you look on Google Earth, because I did this, I had nothing better to do today. Right across the street, there's a pretty solid tree, like on the berm, by the sidewalk.
Yeah.
She apparently backed into that and then went forward again, but at a different angle and hit the house at a different location. So, yeah, this one might take the cake with vehicles into buildings. I thought that I feel like
that's one of those like YouTube videos you see of a college girl that's just wasted, and she can't, she keeps falling and can't get back, like nothing she does works.
Yeah.
I feel like that was that lady last night, but in her car.
In her car, yeah. I mean, again, all joking aside, I hope it wasn't. I mean, in a weird way, I hope it was just DUI and it wasn't like a medical condition or something. But they said nobody in the buildings were hurt.
Yeah. Okay. So good. Nobody was hurt except for her pride and the front door.
The building, yeah. I mean, the house itself was being, I guess, looked at for integrity, just to see if it was even stable enough to continue living in. So, but she did it up good.
When we first got the picture from you today, the first thing I thought is she caught her husband cheating. She's pissed. That's what came into my mind. Because why else would you hit the house twice?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's take a little pause here. We'll talk to Mitchell on the phone right now. Mitchell, you're on the air now.
Oh, excellent. Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Mitchell.
I'm doing good. I just got out of my car. I had it running in the garage, and
go chase it.
Your message. So,
oh no.
Well, no. I want to make sure. I didn't. Yeah. So, thank you for that PSA.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You were trying to make your own joke, and I jumped on you. I didn't mean that.
It's understandable. You're from New Jersey. That's what happened.
That is true, Mitchie. All right. So what's on your mind?
Nothing. I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I been listening. First time caller, long time listener. Hey now.
First time, hey now.
Yeah. I'm just super excited to talk to you guys. I've been listening for a while and saw you jumped over to the YouTube channel, so I totally followed that. I'm on the free feed. I'm thinking about becoming a Patreon member this year if my wife will give me the gift card that I got for Christmas. So, super excited about that.
What is with you guys? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to spend the money that I make, so you understand that.
Well, you got to save that for retirement.
Yeah, well, and I'm 40. I'm coming up with my 7-year-old dad and my kid this week, or not this week, but in the springtime. So I'm excited to come up, and I hope I get to meet some of the cast. I don't know if that's possible.
Of course it is.
Get a guide through your website.
Well,
I love that we're considered a cast.
I know, really.
You can do all that stuff, and you can, especially as a patron. I mean, patrons, they get the red carpet deal. They say, hey, I'm in town. Are you recording or doing anything? I say, whatever we're doing, you're welcome to it. So, yeah, absolutely. Just let us know that you're there, and we'll try to find a way to either let you come sit in a recording or, meet you for dinner or something like that. But we like to meet we appreciate everybody's support, and so whenever we possibly can, we'll meet you if you come in here. The real question is, why the hell would you want to meet any of us?
That's true, yeah.
Well, listen, I grew up for a little bit of time in Carlisle, and I became a big fan. I'm kind of a Gettys nerd here as I get towards 40 years old. So you guys are hitting my demographic.
Yeah.
40-year-old Gettys nerd.
Right.
So,
wanting to feel young again.
I'm trying to feel young again, and I actually have money to spend on things that I enjoy. So I'm looking forward to coming up and enjoying the things that I study. And I appreciate your time, and that's it. That's all I got. Maybe I'll call in later. I'll just try not to run into any houses tonight.
Save it for Gettysburg. We need to drive the statistics.
I'll save it for Gettysburg. Right. I'll go run into some of your houses.
Right.
That's good. All right. Well,
keep rocking on, guys.
Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you very much. It was a very nice call. Thank you. And yeah, call in anytime.
Absolutely.
All right.
Take
Have
care.
a good one. Bye-bye. All right. Are you hearing crackling in your headphones?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay. So I just want to make sure if my headphones are dying or we're overloading it or something. I think what it is. Here's the thing. When we all laugh, you move away from the mic. You don't go to the mic and laugh, because then that overloads. And if we're all doing it, so when something funny happens, you've got to back up.
I think it was something with the call. It might be the connection with the phone.
Could have been that. because I'm not hearing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Well,
could
maybe
all
it was.
test out the laughing theory and just laugh into the
Okay, ready?
microphones.
1, 2, 3.
No crackles.
No, okay, we're
just cackles.
No crackles, just cackles.
Well
That's
played,
pretty good.
Colby.
I like that. All right, Eric. Eric had to get in on that one.
That's a fantastic laugh.
I love Eric's laugh.
It sounds jolly. He should be Santa, man. I'm telling
this
you.
is my.
It doesn't sound like it goes with him.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Like,
That's
he
why I
looks real
love them.
surly all the time, very stoic and surly.
But
and
his
then he,
laughs are jolly.
Yeah, genuinely like.
See, he almost exploded there. He's really getting it. And this is my favorite though, because it's like if you place that well, like it just works, because it's just it's a little insulting, because it's just this little. Like you're an idiot type of a laugh. Anyway, go ahead, Ronnie. You got more news.
Yeah, just to follow up with end on some good news. So Gettysburg made a little bit of history at the beginning of the year. The borough.
Really?
Yes, I'm sure you know we have a new mayor, right?
We do have a new mayor. Yes.
And bringing the high water mark and all this other stuff full circle, it is the first African American mayor of the borough, and she is the first female of the borough. So pretty damn cool to make some history all in one foul swoop there. As an aside, there was also history made on the council. I'm sorry, her name is Rita Freeling, and congratulations,
The mayor. Yeah, the mayor, the new mayor.
Welcome aboard.
And by the way, you're welcome to come on our show anytime you'd like to come and talk about what's going on in town. This is about what is going on in Gettysburg today.
Right.
And so we would love to have you or anybody from the council on.
Yep.
whether you're running or not, or you just want to come on and have a little fun and talk about what's going on, this is the thing. This is a wonderful resource for people who might want to connect with their constituents.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So as an aside to that as well, council made history by swearing in Chad Allen Carr. He becomes the first openly gay council member that we've ever had. So we created quite a bit of history just this past, week during the swearing in. So congratulations to those two representatives of local politics.
I've got a song for him. Hold on. There you go.
There we go.
Little whoopee for you there.
Yeah, I like
I don't have the greatest library of songs and things to pull up here. It's the best I could do, Chad.
Licensing fees and all.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Exactly.
They're limited.
Yeah.
So that's the news. So
all right.
go out with a good story.
That's the news.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if there's anything happening this weekend. Oh, no, we don't want that one either.
I don't want this one.
What's there to do and see when you're in town this weekend? Here's Valerie and Veronica to fill you in.
It's all covered.
I like that.
Bitch.
You like...
that I don't like because I feel like it sounds like it could be me.
Son of a
saying
bitch?
It. Yeah.
Well, Cam thought it was you for a moment.
know. I thought it was me, and I'm like, wait, I don't think I remember.
Son of a bitch.
I was like, yeah, I don't like that either. Because to me, it sounds like it's me saying that. It's not me.
You goddamn son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's not me.
You goddamn mean son of a bitch.
Say it faster.
You
that's
goddamn
Duke.
mean dirty son of a bitch.
Yeah, God, that was funny that when Cam thought that was you.
Yeah.
Because I would do it, and then
Son of a bitch.
he just went like that.
Yeah.
Did you cuss?
That's what he did. He looked at you, and he's like, "Did you just cuss?"
And like unprovoked, it had nothing to
Yeah.
do with anything. Like why I would have just like blurted that out in the middle of nothing. He like looked like I lost my mind.
Right,
you know, like,
right. You just randomly going around cursing.
You goddamn son of a bitch.
kind of like this. So this is not a fantastic segue to where I was going to start events for this weekend. Because I was
Okay.
going to start with children-centric activities. One of our listeners actually reached out to me and said they were bringing their children in, and they asked for some suggestions. And actually, just a reminder that the Children of 1863, which replaced the old Rupp House Museum,
Yeah.
it's open. They do have their winter hours, so they're only open Thursday through Sunday, noon to 5. But it is the interactive children's museum that's part of the Gettysburg Foundation. It's done really well. You learn about, I think, 5 different kids that were here at the time of the battle and their experiences and stuff like that. So that is open during the winter, Thursday through Sunday, noon to 5. That's
Very
something
good.
for your kids. Also, the National Park Service is continuing their winter reading adventures program.
Yes.
However,
Uh-oh.
out of an abundance of caution, until further notice, they will only be live streamed at 11 o'clock on Facebook. They're not going to be in person, at least through this weekend, because there's a pretty significant COVID increase in this area, especially among minors. So until further notice, they're going to be live streamed. But it's I think John Hoptack and Barb Sanders and the education department, so they're still doing it.
But it's going to be live streamed.
Live streamed on Facebook, which they were doing anyway, right? Just like the
yeah.
adult lectures, they're in person if you get tickets and you go with the mask.
Oh, you're
and
talking about
everything,
the
but
children's thing.
This is the children's thing.
Oh, I thought you meant the adult lectures.
No, I'm glad you listened to me. I'm glad I go through this.
I'm sorry. I can't multitask.
So moving on to the adult lectures, they are still... Moving on to the adult lectures, they are still going. This weekend, Saturday at 1:30, Zach Fry will be discussing the political life in the Army of the Potomac.
Very nice.
And then Sunday at 1:30, Ranger Carlton Smith is going to be talking about Longstreet's spy, Lieutenant Henry Harrison.
Oh,
so those are
okay.
the two. And again, they'll be in person, but also live streamed if you can't make it. Also continuing this weekend is what I'm going to call Tim Smith's Winter Lecture Series.
That's what I call it.
It's not a Civil War Roundtable.
No, it's definitely not the Gettysburg Civil War Roundtable.
It is not at all.
No.
So I'm going to call it Tim Smith's Winter Lecture Series. This coming week, he's going to finish up the commercialization aspect of the park. Next week is going to be moved monuments, which I think is actually a pretty darn
I
cool
like that
topic.
idea, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to next week's as well. And then finally rounding out January is going to be his presentation on Jenny Wade, which I know he's very fond of Jenny, and he always has some interesting tidbits about her life and Gettysburg at the time of her life.
What are your thoughts on Jenny Wade? The whole thing.
Yeah, I think I can understand how it happened so quickly that if there was a complication with a pregnancy or whatever, the family, was in a brick house. They probably didn't think things were going to turn out the way they did, and by the time they did, they probably couldn't get out safely. So, I mean, would I have tried to get the hell out of there? Yeah, but I also, I don't know. What are you going to do with like a young boy and a newborn baby and someone that just had that baby and an elderly mother and all this? I mean, I don't know. So I don't know.
No, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, and I don't know. You think she was baking bread for the soldiers or for her family?
Does it matter?
I think it does.
No, I don't think it really
Because I think she was baking it for her family.
Okay.
But we've been saying,
well, she was just baking bread for the soldiers.
Right, so either way, she's caring for somebody, right? Like, she wasn't just making herself a muffin and saying to hell with everybody else, right?
We don't know that. We don't know that.
I would venture.
She might have been just making a muffin.
I don't know, man. Anybody doing what's like a normal thing in the middle of something that's so not normal as a gunfight, especially one this big? There's something to that.
I don't know. I mean, there's an account of a guy running out into the backyard because he needed to feed the chickens. I mean, life goes on, right? I mean,
listen,
those people are crazy.
Yeah,
right. There are idiots of all sexes, of all ages, and oftentimes more than one of them found in one town. Right. And so that guy, I would have let the chickens starve. I mean, the whole, it's a different, you know what I mean? It's like there are two large armies in your town, and you're still trying to go about things like everything's normal.
Right.
Come on now. I mean, I get it. Believe me, after the last 2 years, I understand the need to feel like things are normal.
Yeah.
But this was the first 2 days.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Have you ever been in the Heritage Center's museum?
Not the new one.
After they took out the waxing. So you got to go, because one of the little things is that's exactly what I was thinking. So it's not really in the basement, but it's set up to act like to reflect that you would be in the basement, right? And you can see like these silhouettes of like feet going by the window and like the boom and the doors.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to.
And I know I'm on the main floor of a visitor center, right? Like, and it's still like you're on pins and needles, like, because you don't know if somebody's going to open the door, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, and it's, I would be in the basement. I wouldn't be baking bread or a muffin for myself or anything. I'd be in the basement.
Yeah.
But that being said, people are more courageous than I am, so I don't.
Well, there's a fine line between courage and stupidity.
Fair. All of a sudden, you guys are the first ones to say, oh, we can't judge people, by our standards now,
Correct.
back then. So maybe they're more courageous than us.
But the human fight or flight thing has never changed in 100,000 years, or however old humans are.
Fair
that's what I'm not really
the need for
getting
food either,
is
though. In fairness,
and what?
The need for food hasn't changed
that's true.
either. So
that's true.
If the
You do
family
need
has
to
nothing to eat, right? I mean,
but get like a hot pocket or something. Why are you making bread?
Right.
Well, and not only that, man, but
what are you gonna pick? Hot pockets.
Not only that, but
there's a battle going on in your front yard, and you're hungry. What are you gonna pick? Hot pockets. What? I'm sorry, Colby. I was vamping.
I was just gonna say the thing you look for, and that's like if you're like this. At least for us, when we were in a combat zone and like patrolling or in a gunfight, dude. If you're in a full-on gunfight, and there's just someone out doing their stuff, that is like the first person you look at either putting down or like going to capture.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's something weird, like
something's
they're doing
off.
something they're not supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Obviously, not supposed to be doing.
That's
and it's,
my point.
I don't know. That's hard for me to
That's
wrap
my
my head around.
point.
I know it's a different war, so there's a little bit of a difference there, and like it was an insurgency or all that stuff. So I don't know, man. But
well, devil's advocate, this isn't like the first day of the battle either, right? Like they don't just like get surprised. So they've successfully avoided any kind of injury or harm for 2 days. So they probably don't think much more. You know what I mean? Like. By that point, 72 hours has elapsed, and they're.
I mean, I don't know the exact timeline of like when the shell went into the roof. Do you know that, Mike?
No.
Was that on July 2nd or July 3rd?
I'm not versed on it.
I mean, July 1st they go there because the fighting is northwest of town.
Right.
But the minute that everything comes running through town, that's when you get the hell out.
Pretty darn fast, right? Because the Confederates crushed the line, and the Union troops go flying through town themselves.
Yeah, but wait till dark. I mean, they're fortifying Cemetery Hill at that point, and so you sneak somebody out there, say, "Hey, listen, I got a newborn and a woman in bad shape. Can you help me get people out of here?" It looks like you're bringing the war to our door, and but nobody does that. I just find it all so weird.
Or like immediately when you hear that Confederate troops are approaching your town,
leave.
You just leave,
right?
And then come back when the battle's over.
Exactly. Exactly. Plenty of people did that. Plenty of people did
Sissies.
that.
All right. Anyway, so moving on real quick. There's a
It's
couple.
too late.
A couple other things just to announce. If people are in town this weekend, this is a pretty cool thing to check out if you're into this stuff. So unfortunately, a gentleman that was a lifetime Civil War collector passed away. His name is Larry Whitmer. He and his father had like a real extensive collection, even going back to Revolutionary firearms and things like that. He passed away. I think he's known around this area for he and his father in 1972 began the reenactment corps for the 1st Conewago Independent Light Artillery. He had done that pretty much up until his death. Like I know he was like big in the collecting area around this. Anyway, long story short is the Reading Auction House is auctioning off his collection. Oh. So there was a preview
I saw this,
like Wednesday,
yeah.
Thursday, and Friday. So the sale is tomorrow and Sunday. The doors each day open at 8. The bidding starts at 10:30. There's obviously a litany of all kinds of different hundreds of lots of everything. I mean, there were like over 275 guns, like rifles, there were handguns. There were 2 replica cannon. I mean, uniforms.
Love to have one of those.
All kinds of stuff. So if you're into that, it's a pretty amazing opportunity to get your hands on some stuff that was like a family, like a private collection.
And does it say that these are all reproductions or some of these originals?
No. Some of them were like, so Mom and I actually just for shits and giggles went on Wednesday,
Right.
and one of the tags on one of the big muskets was actually there's provenance that puts it to a militiaman in the Revolutionary War, and like there's been some amendments to the gun itself, but like there's an engravement on the stock and everything. It's like that's his and all this other stuff. I mean, so there's
okay, so
yeah,
there's
a lot of
like
it's
real
like,
stuff.
Yeah. It was really pretty cool if you're into that.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I wish I was
Swords
just
and
made of
everything.
money.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure some of that stuff's gonna go like for more than $5. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I think so.
But even if you're just interested to go in and check it out, so that's coming up tomorrow and Sunday.
I got into reenacting because I like the clothes.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.
Something that's non-Civil War related, the Gettysburg Community Theater is actually putting on the play Sweeney Todd. It's this weekend, next weekend, and the final weekend of January. But you got to get online. A lot of the shows are actually already sold out. So go to gettysburgcommunitytheater.org to see live performances again. They're up and rendering performances.
And the tale of Sweeney Todd.
The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, support
Wait,
your
Andy?
local.
Andy? Is that Andy? Andy, right? Aaron didn't know that it was Andy. Forget it. It's from The Office.
I picked right up on what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right on it.
All right.
Everybody did except for one person.
Yep. Nope.
Somebody here is not like the others.
Eric. All right.
One final thing.
Yes?
I have to make this plug.
Go for it.
Actually,
Go
it's
for
It's
it.
2 final things. So
Okay.
just a reminder, the Civil War roundtables that actually are Civil War roundtables, they're all struggling. Their memberships are a lot of them are still doing virtual and stuff like that. They have fantastic presentations.
I'm glad
and
you
people
brought this
and
up.
memberships. So support your local Civil War
Yeah.
roundtable. Gettysburg has one. Chambersburg has one. Carlisle has one.
Weren't you
Harrisburg
asked to
has
be
one.
like the president of one of them or something?
No, I'm gonna. I have been nominated to be the recording secretary of the Gettysburg Civil War Roundtable for
very
this
nice.
coming year, but elections aren't for a while. But anyway, just a reminder to support, because a lot of work goes into bringing history alive to people, and they've done it for 2 years, most of them now,
Yeah.
like virtually. They have they've continued. I know I'm still a member of my Pittsburgh one back home. Just a lot of good resources and
Well, Eric and I joined the one out in Chambersburg.
Yep.
What's the name of that one?
Cumberland Valley
That's
Civil
right.
War Roundtable.
And because Tracy Bear is a member, so is Rick Schrader, a couple of other guys there.
Jason Heileman.
I don't know him, but
He's
okay.
a licensed battlefield guy.
Okay.
Yes.
Who else? Is Larry?
Larry Korshik.
Yeah.
is
Okay.
also.
And there might be one or two others. But anyway, but we went there to see.
Chris Army.
No. But the first time Eric and I went there was the guy that's talking about Lincoln, Layman. The guy was talking about Layman, actually. You were with us.
No, I wasn't. I was there for
Oh no, you weren't. You're right. You're right.
I was there for Kirkwood.
You were not there. So so we go there for that one. Tracy invited us. We went to dinner with him and Rick Schrader, and it was fun. We had a nice time, and went to the thing. The guy spoke, got a couple books, whatever, blah blah blah. Went home, and then but while we were there, they announced all the people that they had slated for 2022, and I'm like, half these people are our friends.
Yeah.
And so I need to go to these
Yeah.
to support them.
Right.
So we went to Ron Kirkwood, and then we went to Chris Army this week.
Oh, thanks for the invitations.
Oh, well, you're always welcome to come with us.
Well, how would I know about it if you don't
Oh, I
invite
thought
me?
you were. You're not. You're not into
you're not
this.
part of
Listen to all of us. We're like, oh, it's like God. When
well, Veronica's just not one of the cool kids.
No,
apparently.
that's definitely true. But having like flashbacks to Christmas.
Veronica's like, how come I didn't get an invitation? And we're just like,
yeah. All right, one last plug
Veronica
for a
Woodpecker.
selfish reason. Yeah, thank you.
No, but really, that's a good point.
Yeah,
We shouldn't. You should absolutely support your local Civil War roundtable. Find the closest one to you and join it, because they're really. I mean, this one is really good.
History alive, and a lot of them do a lot of community.
We're keeping history alive here, but they're
and
helping.
There's different avenues, and they all are right because they have like authors and people. They incentivize people to continue writing and researching and presenting these things that are near and dear to our hearts. I know the Gettysburg Civil. I'm sorry. The Greater Pittsburgh Civil War Roundtable adopts the monument of the 155th PA, and we do like a spring and a fall cleanup. Like when we were allowed to do that. I mean, there are things that literally give back to things that we care about. So it's whatever. Most of them are like $25-$30 for the year. I mean,
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I said, how much is it to join? He's like $25, and I go, a month, and he goes, no, a year.
Yeah,
and I go, really?
Yeah. And you meet some neat people and like-minded people, same kind of thing. And you
don't actually have to go.
No,
I mean, you just want to support them to be cool.
Yeah.
And you could do that. You don't have to actually go to one if you can't.
Right. And like you said, some of them are back in person. Some of them are doing like kind of
we
dual
did both.
thing. Right. Like they're in person, but they're also live streamed. Gettysburg is doing that. We're meeting at the Methodist Church, but it's also being live streamed for folks that don't feel comfortable with COVID. So,
I just love. I think it's great that we live in a day and age where we have such a thing as Zoom or Google Meet or something like that, and it really, obviously, those things came into their own during the lockdowns. And it was great because it enabled us to keep in touch with other human beings while we're locked in our homes. But out of that, like a whole new way of life has come. And so now it's just, we don't need to be doing it, but we continue to do it because there was a benefit to having that. You're more accessible to people.
Yeah.
And I was talking to, who is it that does the, is it Fran, when Fran was here, because he does the 763, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So he was talking about, now that it started during the lockdown to just keep things going, but then now it's not necessary anymore, but people like it and real life is coming back. And so it's like, well, do I keep this going? It's a lot of work,
Right.
So I think he's going to keep it going.
Something as simple as like, the Greater Pittsburgh Civil War Roundtable. I was a member for a couple of years and then moved.
Yeah.
If no offense, but I'm not going to drive 3.5 hours on a Monday night to go to the live presentation at 7.
Oh, really?
Get back here, right? So like, I wouldn't be a member if they wouldn't have some kind of option like that. So people, I know Gettysburg, there's people in Phoenix or whatever that are members and they watch the live feed. So it makes it accessible to people that otherwise would have no way of seeing these presentations.
And a good point to add on to that is that if you are unable to attend, and let's say I joined the Chambersburg one, but now I move to say Phoenix, okay? But I could still stay a member of Chambersburg and watch the stuff on Zoom. And then I can also join the one down in Phoenix, and you could join 100 of them.
Jim Hessler's speaking at the Phoenix one in April, believe it or not. So these guys all over the country.
Exactly.
So
is that when he's going out there for the Tombstone trip?
Yeah, like the Tuesday right before.
A listener told me, he's like, I live not too far from Tombstone. If you ever find yourself down here, let me know. You got a place to stay. And I said, thank you. And I go, how far are you from Tombstone? He's like, 2 hours. And I go, I might have to take you up on that. Although April's too soon. I don't think I'll be able to pull it all together. But still. And then also, Jim and I have been talking about a little Bighorn trip that we would do in coordination with Addressing Gettysburg or something. I don't know how it's going to work. Yeah. But I just said, I just got to figure out a way where I'm not spending money.
Right.
I'll promote it.
Yeah.
And I'll promote the hell out of it, but I need to break even. I need to spend nothing. I don't need to make any money. I just need to spend no money.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out how to do that.
Start walking, man.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
One other real quick plug, and this is another selfish one.
I'll do this all night.
No, I'll be done, I promise. So, I just had dinner with Ross Hetrick, the president and founder of the Thaddeus Stevens Society. He is all kinds of jazzed up, rightfully so, because April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd is going to be the big Thaddeus Stevens 230th birthday bash. The big highlight of that is there's going to be a Thaddeus Stevens monument installed right outside the courthouse at 2 o'clock on April 2nd.
Here?
Wow.
Yes. So April 1st is going to be
And it's going to stay there?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's there was a big donor from Ohio that pretty much put up a good portion of the funding, thankfully, and that monument's been in the works, and it's pretty much it was starting to get its patina yesterday. I think he was showing video of it. It looks awesome. Apparently, council's approved everything. There's just some little finite things that need to go into place before April. But Thaddeus's birthday would have been April 4th, so the weekend right before that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, the events are going to be throughout Lancaster. The technology school is out there. His law office, he's buried out there. So there's going to be speakers and things like that. Saturday is going to be everything here in Gettysburg. The Majestic Theater is going to have a banquet, the dedication of the monument, and then Sunday, just for a little while, there's going to be a presentation at the Caledonia Furnace. So that weekend is going to be a big, big opportunity. I'm geeked about it because I've seen the statue and I'm like, I just think it's so cool.
Well, that's great that we're getting a statue.
Yeah. So
I love that.
So plan for the first weekend in April, guys. If you're making your spring trips, try to shoot for Saturday the 2nd.
Yeah.
You'll get to see something.
And actually, what you should do is just do your 2-week vacation that you get this year. Just do it the first 2 weeks of April, because the second weekend is our first Get Out of the Car tour. By the way, the Get Out of the Car tour is our schedule is posted on our website, addressinggettysburg.com, and the April one is going to be the second weekend in April. I don't remember the date, but it's the second Saturday, because Easter is the third weekend, and
I'm sorry, it would be the 9th. I'm sorry. So
yeah, that sounds familiar. So Easter kind of ruins everything there. Thanks, Big JC. Yeah. And I don't think he knew, though, at the time when he was rising from the dead, that he would interfere with our tours.
Yeah, in 2022.
Yeah. He's like, that's so far in the future. I can't think about that right now. That's what he said.
Everything.
Well, he does. Well, his dad does. Does Jesus know everything? Or does his dad know everything?
I think maybe at the time he was just more worried about redemption for all mankind, He had bigger fish to fry than Easter Sunday.
Well, always quick to humble me. Thank you.
Listen, I was trying to save you, man. That was save you from going down a deep, dark rabbit hole.
So anyway, happy weekend, everyone. That is the news and events.
All right, that's the news and events. And we're going to get going. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to see your names. Good to hear your voices if we see or hear them. And that's about it. We will talk to you next time, unless it snows and covers our electric panels.
Gettysburg Today is hosted by Matt Callery and Veronica Brestensky, Esquire. Produced by Eric, the producer, Moni. Applause led by Owen the Clabber. Guests of Addressing Gettysburg Today stay wherever they want. That's not our concern. To be a guest on the show, send an email to eric@addressinggettysburg.com. Addressing Gettysburg broadcasts from the Gettys Bike Tour Studios. Get a 15% discount on your next tour with Gettys Bike. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg Today. Thanks for listening.
When they saw the honored flag they had not seen for years, hardly could they be restrained from breaking forth in cheers while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea while we were marching through Georgia. While we were marching through Georgia. While we were marching through Georgia.
If it looks like a duck, walks